Scorpio, hey, I'm here to do your mirrored moon read where we're looking at the energy that got kicked off with the June 21st full moon in Capricorn and will culminate with the full moon also in Capricorn again and also on the 21st of July. So these energies are mirroring, especially with Mercury currently in Gemini, also with Jupiter in Gemini, which will be traveling there for a full year. So a lot going on right now. I want to dive right into your message because I got a big download coming in for you. I did see as I was looking out and just sort of scrying with the sky out there what looked like a sucker hole, okay? And it brought through a really interesting message for you that I feel is significant. It's interesting because just as I'm looking outside now, I'm seeing two letters showing up in the clouds, J and R. It made me think Junior, so this could be related to somebody named Junior or somebody who is a junior. In other words, they bear their father's name. Okay, this is something to be aware of. It's just coming through. And with that, I had a bird fly by the window headed north. So yes, this could be somebody who has passed on. All right, this just coming in. I always get interesting energy coming in with the Scorpio reads, but I feel like you need to up your security system on your energetic boundaries. This is what I got, okay? I feel like however you've been grounding out, however you've been sort of putting up any shielding you do, especially when you're actively engaged in any kind of spiritual work, you need to switch it up because somebody's like cracked the code and they're about to find their way through the barriers you've put in place. And I do feel like some of you may be feeling like you've been under some kind of spiritual, attack. Some of you may feel like you've just had people really just infiltrating your boundaries, just trying to get into your business too much or keeping an eye on you. There is sort of this theme coming in here. And it's kind of interesting how the message came in. It was saying not only should you totally revamp the way that you do your usual grounding, shielding, any kind of protective work you do, but some kind of spicy energy coming in here. I feel like it's from your ancestral bloodline, but they said you should also like set up like a mock-up sort of like shielding too, since they're getting so familiar with it, and put a booby trap in there. All right, so that's just coming in. All right, so I wanted to drop right in with these cards for the Infinite Tarot here because it's a little bit more shamanistically based, and I'm almost feeling that energy coming through. You may come from a line of shamans. This may be something that's really strong in your bloodline. Those bloodlines are awakening right now. I do feel like there's some gift that wants to come through for you, and it's going to be an alchemical gift that really helps you step into more of that roots power. Got a lot of roots energy around you. Somebody may have tried to lay some roots on you, I have to say. I think you're in the process of pulling something up at the root, okay? And it's also pulling up the roots, like the roots of the knowledge that want to come in for you. You also may want to get into studying your roots, okay? I'm just going to leave it with that. Just studying your roots, okay? It has multiple applications, mind, body, spirit, to drop in with that energy. This is for any significant Scorpio placement, or if you have a prominent placement in the 8th house. Also, if you are a Taurus rising, that makes you a Scorpio descendant, and you may find resonance with this read, all right? Take what applies to you, know what doesn't, drop the rest, and let's just tune in for some more messages here. Now I'm seeing a 7 in the sky, lucky number 7. Okay, so there is some kind of luck coming in for you. I do feel like fortune favors you in this regard, where somebody's trying to like get one over on you. I feel like this is going to turn around. Yes, okay, so bottom of the deck here, we have solar system. We have 10 of Earth. Okay, so I feel like everything is sort of revolving around you right now, or at least that's somebody's perspective. It could be you're dealing with an earth sign that feels this way. It could be that you have some kind of attention, some kind of focus on you. It could be that you are coming into some kind of, I heard, inheritance or some kind of blessing, especially something that really increases what another may view as your status. All right. I do feel like your 10th house is really lit right now. And there may be a lot of people paying attention to what's going on with you. They may think that you're a bit egocentric, like you think you're the solar, you're they think you're the center of the universe. I was thinking sun energy, okay? This sun energy is really significant for you right now. Right? Some of you may be Scorpios that have different placements. It may not be your native sun sign, okay? But do look at where is your sun? What house is your sun in, and what action do you got going down in that house? You know, what action do you got going down in that house? What other, planets are there, if any? What other placements? And what is your native sun sign? I'm getting first house, like really pay attention to the first house, because it's so much about the self. There's some kind of strength there. There's some kind of rooting there that'll help you out with this, all right? But I do feel like somebody's got their eyes on your prize, all right? There's a lot of this kind of energy out in the collective in general right now. Everybody wants an easy come up, once they've dug themselves into their own hole. And now they're finding, it's not so easy to get out of a particular jam. This may be somebody that you cut off, a hookup energy, somebody you stopped giving the cookie to. We got Yoni in reverse. You decided that you didn't want to continue to create in this direction, let's say. You may feel like you're also having trouble birthing some new beginnings in your life. You may feel like your fire's been kind of snuffed out. Okay. I feel like that's because you're actually like lit right now, and somebody wants to dampen your fire, right? Queen of fire, fire sign energy coming out there. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius may be a clue. Okay. And I'm just going to get one more round of these and do a cut of the deck, and then we're going to jump into some more cards here to get more of a picture of what's coming in here for you. With that, I just see the stag energy too. So yeah, and when I'm seeing that stag energy, it's also making me think of the elk. So you might be celebrating some kind of accomplishment, something you've achieved. Somebody seems to have a problem with this. They might want to kind of like dim your shine, put out your fire a little bit. But I think now is the time for you to have a healthy sense of pride. There's nothing wrong with feeling good about your accomplishments, something you worked hard for. This is your moment. There may be some kind of attention around something, some kind of blessing coming into your life. Somebody's having a problem with it. Yeah, look at this. A door of opportunity is opening up for you. Gift of fire, something very transformational in your life. And I do feel like in order to gain this opportunity, you had to go through some fire, man. You had to go through the fire to get here. Somebody just thinks that things should be handed to them. They may make assumptions about how you gain certain advantages in your life. Some may even say, I have to say, they may say that, you've, used the art of seduction to get what you want, or that you might sort of like really push that envelope to gain yourself certain opportunities. But in that case, I say, no, that's not the case at all. You went through the fire. Somebody's bitter because they approached you, maybe they wanted to hook up with you and you said no, you dealt them a dose of truth. It burned for them. They didn't like hearing that, I have to say. I do feel there's this energy here, though, where you've decided that you've made it past, a particular trial in your life. There's been a lot of water under the bridge, and you've decided some places you just don't want to go back to. You lit a fire to those bridges. You burned them, and you're at peace with it because you knew that these these places were meant to be left behind. Some people are really struggling with this. You know, they're hoping you'll give them an assist. I also feel like this is that kind of that booby trap energy, like what I brought in about, you know, really setting your parameters, your boundaries different energetically. Even if you're not somebody who like is actively working the alchemist path, right? It doesn't matter. You'd be surprised how much just even spending a little time in meditation, envisioning, grounding yourself out, envisioning, putting up some shielding, setting some energetic intention around that, how much it can shift your reality. It really is a key to manifestation. I mean, this isn't so woo-woo or out there. It's quantum physics. Particles are always vibrating. Stuff is already manifesting, coming into being right before the moment your eyes can even perceive it, before you experience it in this 3D reality. So this isn't so out there. This is just working with the natural laws. Like your thoughts are things, they have an energy template. So you can construct the universe. And perhaps this is that message coming in with that solar system that you are the center of your universe. You know, you really are. You create it as you want to see it. So if you're dealing with a lot of this antagonistic energy, or you feel like your boundaries are really being pushed, you might want to see what inside you is sort of holding that template that continues to mirror this experience back to you. And that might open up the gateways of your creativity and your manifestation. You know, some doors that you thought were closed to you will suddenly be blasted wide open. I got that. And there's some kind of truth that comes through this too. It's a transformational truth. But I do feel like where others have become a little too dependent on your energy, and I mean this in the energy harvester sort of way, you do need to burn some bridges. You need to make it so, you know, they can get purified of their desire to have to feed off your energy. Right? And then a good cleansing is needed here. Okay, you might be dealing with water sign energy, your water sign energy here. Okay, so I feel like spiritual cleansing baths are really good for you. Connecting with the water is very beneficial for you. I also feel like with that dolphin there, doing a lot of breath work too. When you notice like those feelings come up in you where maybe you're not feeling safe or maybe you're feeling defensive, there's something about working with the breath, and even working with the breath in water that can be really beneficial. Making a good cleansing bath, you know what I'm saying? And leaning into those places in your body where you're holding a lot of tension or a lot of emotion and just breathing deep. It's sort of like mimicking that, you know, place before birth, right? When you're in the amniotic fluid and you're safe in the mother's womb, right? So I feel like you're kind of in this similar space. You're in this incubation period because something's about to be birthed through you, but it does require that you sort of cut off the past to some old energies. Okay. Some old energies that can keep you sort of stuck in this like glamour fantasy land, not really seeing the forest for the trees. This is important with Six of Water, all right? This could be something you've over fantasized, you know? It's not what you dream it to be. And it's about taking that creative energy that maybe you used to focus on a particular person or a particular outcome you wanted and revision that. I feel like there's something about the old vision that's ready to be released because you have a new understanding. And also there's something new that's awakening in you that's coming through. Okay, let me do a cut of the deck here and then we'll dive in deeper to this, see what we got. Earth, family, sister Earth. Yes, I love this, okay? Because then you move into this partnership energy here where you can start to produce things, you know, the water merging with the earth. This is, you know, making all things grow, come into a place of abundance. I see the dove energy here. We did have that bird fly by. So I feel like something is being transformed. So you can come into a much more peaceful passage than what you've been moving through. There's some kind of healing happening here. And it brings you into this beautiful place of flowering. So I love this. And notice there's the solar energy coming in again. You know, it really does make me feel like some happiness you have here. Look, it almost looks like evil eye protection. I'm noticing all the colors of the rainbow coming in here. It reminds me of the whirling rainbow. You might want to research that. But there's this piece here about really protecting your dreams that are dear to you and really allowing yourself to maintain your boundaries around this process you're going through, because you're in this process of opening and coming into bloom, and there's dreams that are starting to come into fruition for you. And there may be others who have sort of like an envious eye on this, and they may think that you're kind of like tooting your own horn or being a bit celebratory, and they're taking it as you're rubbing their face in it. But that has everything to do with their insecurity. That's not what you're doing. You're just enjoying where you're at and what you've grown for yourself, right? And you have every right to celebrate this. But it is also about, as you're in this incubation period, be careful what you share about your plans. Right? You should protect them. You know, let the dream speak for itself once it's come into bloom. That's what I got coming in for you. You could be dealing with a water sign energy too, another water sign, another Scorpio like yourself, somebody with a strong Scorpio placement or Cancer Pisces placement there. Right? We also have Earth sign energy came in pretty strong for you. So, I mean, that's also Taurus rising might be coming in very strongly for Taurus risings. Bottom of the deck, the Hangman definitely could be dealing with a Pisces, okay? This could be a matter of balancing something out that's been on hold for a while, you know? Maybe you just need to officially like burn that bridge, cut the cord, all right? It sets both of you free. You might have been like holding space around a particular person, or maybe you've been holding on to some kind of feelings around a certain individual. You've been really caught up trying to figure out why something happened the way it did, why that person turned on you the way they did, okay? And I feel like there's mirroring energy around this. It's sort of like, yes, and with that two birds just flew in from the west to the east, they look like doves. So I think this is really about recognizing that as long as we're still kind of caught up in past energy and looking at what happened and trying to figure something out that may not be readily apparent to us, but the answers come in time. And there's something about letting go of the struggle to figure something out. It's not important or going at this time. There's something about this that in letting go of the need to have the answers, that the answers come, all right? And it's also what gives a sense of freedom and peace from a particular struggle. It invites in transformation. A lot of messages coming in through birds for you, okay? Yeah, this has something to do with some trickery, okay? I do feel like you have a tricky energy that is around you. I still got this damselfly hanging out on the window out here. So I do know that somebody is keeping an eye on you, and they are trying to enact some kind of strategy here about how they can find their way back into your energy. So I do feel like there's somebody that you created some boundaries around. For some of you, this individual does work on an energetic level, and they're actually trying to, like, you know, get in through your protection, your auric boundaries. And there's something you need to be aware of there, okay? So switch it up. Got King of Wands on the bottom of the deck with that. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And what do we got here? Crossing energy, Ace of Pentacles to the Tower, okay? So I feel like there might be somebody that wants to bring down what you built here. I feel that, you know, there's something you built here. You planted a seed, it's growing, it's coming to fruition. Somebody wants to tear this down. They want to interrupt this creative process that you've been in. You might have really felt an energy shift that came in the spring. You sense that there's some kind of disruption here. I do feel like where there were desires to bring down what you've built, like there might have been two people teaming up here, and now they're like in sort of a situation where they're dealing with that energy reversing. You could be the one that's actually bringing this tower, I have to say, right? But it's getting hot. It's getting hot for someone here, all right? There could be a fire sign energy connected to this. I also could see this as you really bringing your fire forward to transform a situation, like you're just burning through the BS. You could be an Ophiuchus, I have to say, because it is evoking that kind of energy for me. You could be an Ophiuchus. You could be a Sagittarian that's born November 30th to December 18th. You hold a lot of that energy. You do hold a lot of the Scorpio energy. You could also have a really fierce Mars placement. Your Mars could be in Scorpio, okay? If so, I do feel like you're bringing down a bolt of truth that really just makes a house of cards fall. It does something to destroy this false like narrative. It's all built on lies. And now it's like liar, liar, pants on fire. There may even be something a little childish about this situation too. Okay, so I feel like there's a couple people here getting put in check. Tower, that's your energy, okay? It is your energy there. So I do think this is also coming in as a warning because you've got something that's about to come into alignment for you, right? It's happiness that you're meant to come into alignment with. Yeah, this is the energy that's getting turned around here. So you may have felt like you really got stabbed in the back. Like you dealt with something where you got done real dirty in a situation. But I feel like rather than coming from a place of like trying to get revenge, 23, 33 on the clock, you decided to go a different route with this. And instead you put all that energy into doing whatever you could to elevate yourself. You know, you may have been down on the ground, but you chose to turn the energy around and rise. And I do feel like this sort of like Phoenix energy or Thunderbird energy there for you. I feel like you are coming into this place of empowerment. There's a big transformation you went through. I think it was really rough. I think there was some heaviness that you had to move through. Look, I mean, you got the sun here. So there's that imagery again, like the sunflowers, something coming into bloom for you. There could be a Leo connected to this situation. And I feel like you're in this place where you had to sort through a lot. And maybe it was really deep root cellar stuff. It could have been something that was really activating for you, just on a level of your deep, deep trauma, you know, stuff that you went through in the past, stuff that taps you into that really young part of you. It could be stuff related to when you were a kid or something that happened to you when you were, you know, growing up within your family. And there's something here that you really like processed and moved through. And it was some way that I do feel like this sun, this happiness was wanting to be blotted out for you. Somebody really wanted you, maybe even they put on some kind of glamour that made you feel like this was taken from you. But it's an illusion. And there's something you need to see accurately here. It's not what you think it is, okay? And with that, we got the King of Sky, okay? Could have been one who cast the illusion, strong air sign, okay? Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. This could be somebody who has strong air and fire in the chart. We have both King of Fire and King of Sky out here, all right? This is somebody who's processing some kind of grief right now. They might even be going through sort of a depressive period. It might be because your energies were too tapped into each other also, that you sort of energetically took on some of, you know, what's really theirs to move through. Perhaps just out of your own sense of compassion for an individual, but it's a limitation. You can't hold this. There's also something here about you really reclaiming the truth of who you are, stepping back into that light that is beneficial, even though it may be disruptive for another. You can't have another dependent on your energy in that way. They have to find their own light. It's so important. But I do feel like this is what's coming in for you. This is your crossing energy. We have the Four of Wands. And it looks like there's some mutual appreciation here. I do feel like you're getting free of something. And by you staying in this place and continuing to hold that space and hold the boundaries around what you're creating for yourself, your time, your energy as well, right? It actually acts in such a way that it finally gives the other an opportunity to step into their power too. Okay? They can't do that though if you're always there with the assist. There's something about you need to let this person go through this, and they might be going through it with another. It could be a couple people here. All right? It could be a couple people here. In fact, this person could have aligned themselves with somebody that they thought that they could trust, something that they thought was, you know, reliable, something they thought that they could count on, and this person ended up really like deceiving them. This person really ended up betraying them, and now they want you to rescue, but maybe you were the one who got sidelined. Okay, so there's something that you really need to remember here, and there's every indication that you need to continue to sort of like stay focused on yourself right now and what you're growing for yourself. And there's this interesting thing here. I do feel like on the other side of this, there's some alignment coming in for you. So let me see, what is this alignment that's coming in for you? There's some kind of new beginning that comes out of this, all right? I think there has been disruption, and I think there are going to be certain things that you will need to cut off. Yeah, something was moving really slow. I see that, okay? We have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse to the Page of Pentacles, okay? Something really got slowed down here, all right? There was a learning curve here for you. It's around your Ace of Pentacles, do you see? There's this dream you have, and you've been working towards it, and you've kind of been held back at this beginner stage, at this Page of Pentacles stage, by somebody actively slowing this progress. And this could be you. We have to bring it in. You have to understand, like, what you see on the outside is mirrored back towards you. So, and that will let you know sort of where you're at. Are you taking things on you don't need to take on? Are you taking on the responsibility for other people's healing work? You know, the best thing you can do in some cases is really let somebody, you know, step into their own empowerment. I also feel like somebody may have misused their power in a situation, and they're being given an opportunity to learn this lesson. You know, and if you go and interrupt the lesson, then what ends up happening is it might not just be a tower for them, but it could be a tower for you, because you're choosing to willingly like take on some of their karma that they came into this life with. These are their lessons. When we got these cards showing up, you know, the major arcana signifies things that you were meant to go through on your path. So you can't stop this. No matter what you do, you can't stop this, right? And you see, this is what actually can bring in the fulfillment. Yeah, you need to let this completion happen here. We got all the fixed sign energies here, okay? We got Taurus risings. You could be really feeling this strongly, or where you have Taurus in your chart, or any of these signs in your chart. We got Leo energy there. We got your energy, Scorpio, so this is very deeply personal for you. And we got Aquarius, so we did have that King of Swords come in. That King of Swords, that King of Sky, that could be an Aquarius. What you may not see right now is that there's so much more up ahead for you. You may have sort of been pigeonholing yourself, or putting yourself in a box, and you're meant to move into like this greater expansion. There's something that's really worth celebrating on the other side of a new beginning that comes from burning a particular bridge. But you might be holding on for dear life, you know, just because you feel like you're still in a process of getting some grounding or restabilizing yourself. All right, I see that. Let me get some more details about this for you, and then I think I'm going to do a cut of the deck, and we'll pull out another deck here. What else does Scorpio need to know? Yeah, look at this. Wow. Yeah, you got to move away from the troubles. Stop carrying the troubles forward with you. It's holding you up. You know, you can't save somebody from their lessons. You also have to stop giving an end to your energy for this person. You need to make it clear. And I do feel like for some of you, this is like a trauma bonding thing. It's something you learned in your childhood. You grew up in codependency, you know, or you grew up in a household where there was alcoholism or some kind of addiction, you know, playing out within the family dynamic. And so you learned to sort of be put in this position of taking care of others, you know, caretaking others because they couldn't show up and be present. And you took on stuff that wasn't yours to hold. And you've kind of continued to play this out. Or somebody you're dealing with plays this out, you know, and there's a need to really let this person go through this so they can find their empowerment, just like you found your empowerment, and maintain your boundaries here. Because see, this is what you're stepping into. Nine of Pentacles. This is your time to really celebrate all the work you've done, not only on what you're building in your material reality, and actually allow yourself to come into that success, that abundance, feel proud of it, you know, what you've achieved here, what you've built for yourself. It's also about you really taking care of your health too, on all levels, mind, body, spirit, and having that be really evident in the way you're showing up. Like it's recognized, people see it. They see the change in you. They see the transformation. And it's being at peace and at ease and entering a more pleasurable cycle in your life. And this is something you need to be aware of here. You could take on a burden that you already had to move through. You know, we all have our lessons. You got to let people move through their own lessons, and don't let them drag you into this. Okay? Because to me, it feels like there's something that you had to move through. And when you really needed, you know, somebody in your corner, maybe few were there. And you know, whenever we're going through some like big initiatory process, we have to go through that alone. Nobody can go through that doorway with you. Okay, so I do feel like this is a big initiation for you into a new way of life. I also do feel like you're getting some kind of a spiritual empowerment. It feels like it's coming in through your bloodline. But in order to really receive this, you have to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You don't count your money when you're sitting at the table. There's time enough for counting when the dealing's done, right? And right now, there's a little Dharma dealing going on here. And you're not the one to dole that out. And you're also not the one to take it on. And you got dealt your hand, and you played it as you saw fit, okay? And now it's up to this person, you know, to ante up. I got that energy. All right, so let me do a cut of the deck here and see what we got. Yeah, look at this. You got to go on that hermit's journey right now. This is about you trusting where you're being led. There's something deeper going on here. This is an initiation for you. Look. And there's that promise of that full moon off on the horizon that's going to come in on the 21st of July. So this is the initiatory gateway. You've already entered in. I feel like somebody's trying to hitch a ride with you. That's what I got. It's like they haven't been initiated yet. It's sort of like, can I bypass the tower? Can I just kind of like slide through that door with you? No. And I think that's why you need to like cut off the bridge, You know, cut off the past here. Maybe set a booby trap, okay? It's sort of like casting that illusion back, you know? It's like, yeah, you think you know the way, but you don't. You gotta let somebody find their own way. You can't give them breadcrumbs. You can't let them find the way through. They got to discover it for themselves. All right. I really feel that. But you're in the process of entering a whole new dimensional reality. You're creating a whole new world here. So make sure that you're creating from a template of where you're going and not where you've been. All right. And if anybody's meant to catch up with you, they will after they've gone through their own initiatory process. All right. Because I do feel like access in a way is being cut off. You know, it's like you're entering this like quantum reality where certain energies just don't harmonize anymore, right? That's kind of how it's coming through. Let's do the angel tarot here. King of Pentacles. Okay, so yes, this is what's going to preserve what you've been, you know, building for yourself, what you've been investing in. It's going to give you your new beginning. You're acting on your truth. You're heading in the right direction. You have to like answer the call. You're being called, so you have to follow, right? In the end, you're going to realize that this is what creates the harmony. This is what balances things out. And it's also, you know, finally you putting down the anger over what happened and just looking at it from a different vantage point with that hangman energy, that sometimes something looks like it's a devastating loss, but it's actually what's required in order for you to gain what you never could have even imagined. I feel like there's something on the other side of this that is more the blessing that's been chosen for you. So you just have to trust where you're being led right now and follow that directive. Earth sign energy connected to that. Okay, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Might be some kind of clue coming in there from one of those quarters. So let's just see. It could have been that you went through something really difficult with an earth sign, or you feel some kind of anger toward an earth sign or something that happened back there, or you may feel really upset about ways that you felt thwarted just in your ability to manifest for yourself, create a certain level of stability for yourself. You may have felt that another really disrupted your stability. Okay, but I feel like you're about to discover something that wouldn't have been possible otherwise, and be grateful for those experiences, because it's those experiences, the places where we're challenged by others, as antagonistic as it may be, that give us the impetus to rise. Like you never would have reached for something if you wouldn't have been so challenged. Do you know what I mean? If somebody is really like pushing you or trying to block you, you know, it can really wake up the beast inside of you and like light a fire under your butt and put you in that place where you go, oh yeah. You know, it's what can wake up the champion in you that makes you rise to a challenge. And along the way, you know, this is the hero's journey. It's what that major arcana of the tarot is all about. It's about the soul's development along its path. And it's a path that, though we may be surrounded by others, we really do walk it alone, right? And you've been on that hero's quest. And so be grateful for the challengers. Be grateful for the people who, you know, spread false narratives around you. It gives you the opportunity to set the record straight by how you actually show up. People can talk. It doesn't matter what people say. What matters is what they see, you know? Don't waste time, you know, defending yourself. Just stand up in your truth and watch how everything just falls into place effortlessly. And so maybe there's a key there. Maybe you've been trying too hard to defend yourself. You know, you don't need to do that. Just be it. Be it. And everybody will see it. And everything takes care of itself. And all the false narrative just like falls away, man. Yeah. 5 of Wands, okay? This is what will win the judgments and protect all those who truly seek the truth, because only people who seek the truth can see it. So who cares who believes in the false narrative, all right? It just moves you out of that place of any level of competition or comparison or struggle or fight. Instead, it allows you to more play with the energy you got to work with at your disposal, right? A lot of intense energy here around you, but you're being asked to play with the energy in a different way and to flip some of your perspectives on their heads so you can really get a new view. And when you do, it's almost like you can find more of a playfulness in it and more of a spiritedness of it, which is sort of what you're being asked to tap into here with the Five of Wands. Get away from the drama, get away from the arguments, get away from the competitive vibes, all that kind of energy, the tit for tat, okay? And get more into like the playful spirit of it, the lively banter. Yeah. Jump into the fire with the death energy. Really own your energy here. You're in a process of transformation. What's been your reality up to this point, it's not what's going to be so moving forward. Like your whole life is transforming right now. You're in a time of endings and rebirth, but what comes ahead is going to be a new cycle that will sort of like pave your road forward for a long time to come, and you'll like where you're going, right? But you could be the one who could fall into the booby trap if you keep, allowing an end to your energy. Somebody wants to hitch a ride, right? And with that, it's interesting. The Hierophant got thrown on the floor. So this is somebody that has way too much authority in your life. You've given way too much power to this person. I could be speaking really strongly to those of you who are Taurus rising here, okay? Or if you have a strong Taurus placement in your chart. I also see this is all the fixed sign energy again. You've been in too fixed of a position, and there's something here that you need to understand where you're going. It's not fixed. You need to enter more of a kind of mutable sort of flow, right? Look to the mutable signs for guidance on how to work with that energy so you don't get yourself locked into, ooh, I just heard familiar prisons of the mind. You see, because if you're in a prison of the mind, then that's what you're going to create in your external reality. You're going to create these compartments for your daily experience. You're going to create these places where you don't have enough breathing room in your life. You're going to create for yourself a sense of confinement, a sense of being trapped, a sense of not being able to have your freedom, having your free agency to move forward, feeling stuck. Okay, so you need to be really aware of this. There is no intermediary between you and Creator. You are one. And you're going to be waking up to the reality of this. You're going to start seeing the thoughts that you hold manifesting your reality like that. It might scare you at first to recognize that, yes, human beings do have this kind of power. That's why we have free will. If you go with the metaphorical story as outlined in the Bible, you were given this free will and it's a test. How will you use it? And then it's interesting. People use their free will in a destructive way, and then they bemoan their fate and they pray to God to save them. And it's like, you created this. When will you wake up to that and recognize you are the creator? You created this. I gave you free will to use the creative energy however you choose. This is what you chose. So choose different. 44:11 on the clock, okay? And there's something in this, and you really taking that accountability and starting to bring an awareness around this, a hyper awareness around this, and actively being very conscious of the thoughts you're holding and how you're channeling that energy and what you're creating, that gets you some divine blessing. Okay? It'll also earn you back the keys to the kingdom. So this is interesting the way this came out as crossing energy here. What do we got? The Emperor. All right? Aries energy, Aquarian energy. This is about also activating that north node, that Aries north node, 44:55 on the clock. This is actively transforming for you right now. But you could fall in this trap where there's a lot of projections around you. And so you're like looking in this mirror, and the mirror, you have to understand the reality you're looking at in your life. You're looking at a reality that is completely programmed by the projections of others that you've taken on. And so as you're looking in this reality around you, you're seeing like, oh, my way is blocked. Oh, my success is way, way off in the distance. I'm stuck. I'm trapped. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. Everything's working against me. Okay. And that's, you've taken on the projections of others. And I'm not saying there aren't people who have those desires and that's how they're actively using their will towards you. They very well could be 45 on the clock, but that's about to come to an end. 999, your manifestation is ready to be activated as soon as you are. Are you going to manifest what others are trying to manifest for you, or are you going to take charge of that yourself? Are you going to play victim and say, well, other people are holding me back, they're doing this and that? Or are you going to step into your empowerment that was invested in you, okay, through your free will, and say, no, I'm going straight up to that North Node? Because if you choose to activate your destiny, you got the stamp of approval, okay? Your boarding pass has already been, stamped. You're ready. You're good to go. You'll have safe travels getting there, man. And you're protected against all of this swirling around you, right? But it's like you sort of like look at your lot and you keep like looking up to the heavens, asking why, no, and it's like the heavens are looking back at you. Why? It's almost bringing forward like this mirrored image of like Nietzsche talking about, you stare into the abyss too long, then you become the abyss. But it's sort of like everything right side up is upside down. So like looking into the heavens is like looking into the abyss, because in a way it's like you looking up and expecting something to save you when you're here to save yourself. Like that's the whole spiritual lesson. It's an interesting way that message is coming through. Okay, so I do feel like you're about to step into this empowerment. All right, this is what's on offer. You're getting a test though, because I do feel like you got a bit of a sucker hole going on in your energy field. All right, you are a sucker for this person. You're a sucker for a sob story. And you are very prone to take something on in the aspect that you think it gives you some kind of nobility, and it's BS. Like, you suffering is not noble. And that's something that's really sold in, the school of spiritual thought, that you need to suffer. That's not true. Who would create such a rule? Who would create such a rule? Those who want you to be comfortable with suffering. Think about that. Who's holding the keys to that cell you put yourself in? Who did you give them to? It's time to take the keys back, okay? Cut the deck energy here. 6 of Swords again, look. It's just like, just sweep it away, man. Have a sense of, reverence for what went down in the past, because it's everything that brought you to where you are today. Release it, let it go, and be free. Like, there's no obstacle course or nothing. There's just you really like setting your energy template for moving forward. That's what we're doing when we ground, when we shield. We're really consciously setting the energy that we want to create. That's what it's about. So if you're constantly like, I gotta like protect from the people attacking me, that's the energy template you're creating. Instead, try creating your shielding. Maybe this is how it's coming in for you, and doing it in a different way. Maybe you've been looking too much through the mindset of like, oh, return to sender, return to sender. No, why don't you instead just set your shielding, your grounding for what you're looking to ground into your reality, for the kind of energy you want to hold around your life. And that naturally repels anybody who doesn't harmonize with that. If you set your energy field really high, and if it's all about love and beauty and growth and all these wonderful things you want to bring into your life, and an awareness of the collective and what supports the greater vision of the whole, you're not going to draw in these, and they won't be able to get through that. Okay, so it's really about understanding your responsibility with this. Okay, And yes, it'll bring you into alignment with your vision. It'll protect you against those trip ups on the path. It will relieve you of what's ailing you right now. And another side of the deck, and what do we got there? Ooh, boom. It might bring you into alignment with a special someone. All right, we've got King of Wands here. Daniel, Danielle, Daniela. Eloquence gives answers to those in doubt. Okay, I got a spear of Lu here. All right, shoot your shot. You'll hit the mark. All right, there's something about mercy here too with this coming in. It says God, the merciful judge. All right, so you know, maybe somebody's needing a little mercy. Maybe they're crying for mercy. All right. And sometimes the merciful thing is letting go. All right. So let it go, let it flow. It's 50:56 on the clock. Yeah, sometimes change is needed to come into proper alignment. This is interesting. One of the infinite tarot cards got left behind back here. I didn't realize it, separate from the deck when I picked it up. So I'm going to take this as just sort of like overarching theme. What do we got here? Yeah. Let it go, let it flow, like that river of life, you know. That's very much like the Tao, right? The Tao is ever moving, it's ever changing. The Tao, the way, the path, however you choose to view it. It's not stuck, it's not stagnant, it's always changing. And you never step in the same river twice, and many rivers lead to the same source. And so maybe that's something also that like kind of put things in perspective where you really feel at odds with somebody, is just to remember like this person, you know, though they may rile me, though they may upset me, at the same time, they were essential on my path. I learned something. I learned something from this individual, and maybe where there are really harsh feelings, that can be a way to sort of like temper what you're holding in there. All right. Let me see. Anything else? I'm going to go ahead and get a Halloween oracle for you, okay? Yeah, this is a situation where too much control has been executed. There needs to be a releasing, a letting go, a moving on from energy, and trusting that things will come into alignment as they're meant to. And even where it feels like energy worked against you is actually working for you in the bigger picture, right? We end up where we're meant to go. We're paths lined up in certain ways so we can learn certain lessons. So let's just see here. I just want to get you one card here. Yeah, Owl, wise seeing, wise action. Owl may be coming in as a totem for you right now. Owl to help you see through deception, especially self-deception. Owl to help you navigate the terrain of the subconscious so you can bring your thoughts to conscious awareness and be mindful of what you're creating. Owl to help guide you on the alchemical pathway and to help you rediscover your magic, help you discover your empowerments that come through your ancestors, to know to protect that, and to be able to see the light within the dark. All right, there's something coming in here. Cut of the deck energy. What do we got here? For some of you, it does spark a little vigilance. It could also mean that you need to be on guard for what could take away the dream from you. And that may be things you need to be on guard of within yourself. I feel like the more you can sort of take the focus off the other and put it squarely on yourself, the more benefit you will gain from this. And it says Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. All right. So the doorway you're entering now is going to open up a whole new reality for you. It's going to be a wild ride. You got the werewolf there. Okay. Exploring wildness. So I feel like by the time you arrive at that full moon on July 21st in Capricorn, there's the activation that comes in here. And I do feel like this is awakening a really like explorative time in your life. You're going a bit off the beaten trail here. There's like this real like instinctual part of you that's waking up. I feel like this is an awakening that happens subterraneanly. Some are experiencing like the lightning bolt coming down from the heavens. You know, it's like, no, that wasn't built proper. We got to start again. build the foundation anew, okay? And others, you know, I really feel are experiencing this awakening subterraneanly. It's like the awakening of all the empowerments and all the blessings of their ancestors, all those seeds they've been planting, everything they've been nurturing, growing, everything that's, you know, not seen, but is still very fertile and in the process of getting ready to bloom. And it's getting birthed through you. And there's something about just letting yourself be carried with the ecstatic energy and not trying to like block its flow by taking on stuff you don't need to take on or worrying about how it's going to be received by other people. And this really is a point of empowerment for you. And I think of wolf energy too, and that makes me think of the pathfinders. So where you feel like you're lost, you don't know the way out of the woods right now, the path's about to appear before you. Stay tuned.